Hello and welcome. You are watching Prime Pulse News USA. Headline: U.S. demands G7 and EU impose tariffs on China and India to stop Russian oil purchases. In recent days, the United States has launched a new diplomatic and economic push, urging G7 and European Union allies to take tougher action against countries still doing business with Russia. The goal is clear: to shut down Moscow's oil revenues and cut off the money fueling its war in Ukraine. Let's start a call to G7 and EU. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer are pressing G7 and EU partners to introduce what they call meaningful tariffs on goods from countries that continue to buy Russian oil. Washington argues that both China and India are directly financing Putin's war machine through their purchases, tariffs already in place. The U.S. has already announced a sharp hike on Indian imports, adding another 25% in tariffs, raising the total to around 50% on some products. China, however, is facing a more complicated situation. While the administration is demanding tougher penalties, ongoing trade disputes have delayed a full-scale tariff increase. Trump's NATO push. Former President Donald Trump has stepped in with his own demands, calling on NATO members to stop buying Russian oil altogether. He argues that if NATO stands united, it will open the door to even tougher sanctions against Moscow and send a strong signal to Beijing. Trump insists NATO must take a coordinated stance, cut off Russian oil, and impose steep tariffs on Chinese goods. Sources: CBS News, Reuters. G7 finance ministers debate. At a recent summit, G7 finance ministers discussed additional sanctions against Russia and explored ways to use frozen Russian sovereign assets, billions of dollars in state funds blocked abroad since the Ukraine invasion, to support Kiev's war effort and long-term recovery.